If you are a Hims investor, you need to hear this.
We launched GLP-1s and everyone said, oh, now you're just a weight loss business. And a year from now, people will say, oh, you're just like a peptides business, probably, if I were to take a guess.
That's right. The CEO just hinted something huge is coming for Hims in 2027, and that's peptides. Now, most people don't even know what they are, whether they're safe, or why this is going to be a massive opportunity for Hims. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down what peptides are, if they're safe, and why it's going to be making Hims investors a lot of money. Let's get into it. So as you just heard, CEO Andrew Dudum basically said that Hims could be a peptide business in 2027. So I thought it was kind of important to kind of go over what are peptides in a scientific way, right? We're not going to get bored. I'm going to kind of break down exactly what they are because it's very important. Are peptides safe? And the Hims plans for peptides, which, as Hims investors, to make us money, right? So I'm gonna kind of go over all of that. If you can, please give a like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, helps the algorithm. But let's get into it. What are peptides? Now let's go through the scientific version really quick. Peptides are short chains of amino acids, typically containing between 2 and 50 units. They're essentially smaller versions of protein like collagen and elastin. Now your body naturally produces them. They're also popular as supplements and skincare ingredients. So what do peptides do? They're basically biochemical messengers, right? For skin health, they'll signal to the body to produce more collagen and elastin. For muscle and weight, we have like creatine, which can support muscle growth, and GLP-1, which of course, if you're a Hims investor, you know about that, helps regulate appetite, weight management, healing and immunity. They can accelerate wound healing, reduce inflammation, and help your immune system fight off bacteria. And then hormone regulation, subpeptides such as insulin are vital hormones that control metabolism and energy storage. Now, how do they work? There's a few ways. Binding, right? It binds to, if it's applied topically or ingested, it goes to a target area and it binds to a specific receptor on the surface of a cell. Signaling is when it triggers a signaling cascade, essentially tricking your body saying, hey, I need this, I need this, I need more of it. Even though your body's not naturally saying you need more of it, you maybe do need more of it, and it's kind of sending out a signal. Then the action, a signal peptide might tell a skin, that the collagen is breaking, prompting the cell to produce more. Other types, like the neurotransmitter inhibitor, they block signals that cause muscle contractions, resulting in Botox-like effect on expression lines. They're not new. Just to be, peptides are not new, to be clear, right? We have over a century ago, in the 1920s, we have 1901. These things were, peptides it's a natural thing that our bodies produce, so it's not anything new. Why do we need them? So as we get older, we do actually need them. Our body sometimes forgets to send enough of these text messages, right? And you can think of them as messages, or it kind of loses some of its keys. So by using peptide creams or supplements, we're sending extra messages to the cells to remind them to keep building and repairing so everything stays healthy and strong. Sounds good, right? Is it too good to be true? We'll get into that. So think of peptides as tiny sticky notes or text messages that your body sends its cells to tell them what to do, right? Imagine your body is a giant, busy construction site and with a bunch of workers, which are your cells. The proteins, like collagen, are the big, heavy bricks used to build the walls. And peptides are sticky notes stuck onto those bricks to say, hey, we need more bricks over here because, there's a crack in it, or maybe you just want it to be stronger or better, so you put a sticky note saying, hey, we need more. So when a cell reads that note, it starts to make more collagen to then fix the crack and build it more. So, in a way, if you're giving your body more sticky notes, or if your body is not producing any sticky notes at all, you need some, right? So that's what peptides, that's what they're doing essentially. Now here's kind of a visual way of seeing it, right? You have the sticky note, hey, we got to start building. And this is your cell. Okay, now it's time to make some collagen, right? So the signal peptides are like specific build instructions, right? Hey, this is what we need. Can you do that? Then you have the deliveries, right? So they special delivery, they bring in, oh, hey, I needed that, just what I needed for that crack, maybe I need some collagen for my butt because no, I'm just kidding. But peptides also bring materials to where they're needed. And then it helps, create, a reinforced or a fortified foundation, right? It helps build whatever you're trying to, whether it's a torn muscle or your skin, if it's, getting worse or getting older. I mean, we're all going to get old and die. We can't escape that. But we can at least try to be healthier and have our cells, right? It's not about, to some people, to some degree, it may be like I'm trying to live forever. But for me, if I'm going to do this, I haven't at all touched a peptide. But if I were to just start doing something like that, it's all about just keeping my body healthy and good. For my kids, my grandkids, I want to see them. That's what I think it's about. So, are peptides safe? Now, Andrew Dudum does say a few things about the safety and how Hims approaches it. So I'm going to let a tape, or I'm a millennial or older when I say that, but I'm going to let the video roll.
This is an incredibly interesting category. You won't see us be first to market in this category. You'll see us, when we launch it, feel extremely confident in the clinical protocols, extremely confident in the guardrails, make sure that the supply chain and the quality is done to a level we are, feel is bulletproof from a pharmaceutical standpoint.
As you can see, he doesn't just, we're just going to throw it out and let it be taken. They want it to be safe. So peptides are generally considered safe for most healthy people when used as directed, particularly in skincare and oral supplements like collagen. However, dangerous risks arise primarily when using unregulated injectable peptides or in taking high doses without medical supervision. So this is where it gets a little bit gray, right? The number of regulated peptides is relatively small compared to how many unregulated options there are. There's a few dozen highly scrutinized that are FDA approved, but there's hundreds of more that are not. So what's regulated? They've undergone rigorous clinical trials and manufactured in controlled facilities. They're FDA approved. Since 1921, approximately 100 peptides have been authorized for by the FDA for specific medical uses. Like Ozempic and stuff like that. Compounding category. They're generally considered safe for compounding by licensed pharmacies when prescribed by a doctor. If you know anything about compounding and all that stuff, Hims is big on that. We also have unregulated peptides. Now, the unregulated market is significantly larger and harder to track, and they're online retailers, and it's a research chemical supplier. So it actually says like research only sometimes. The research gray market, most popular wellness peptides fall into this bucket. There are hundreds of these compounds marketed for muscle repair, fat loss, and anti-aging. The volume of availability. Now, the market of all of these gray market, how much of the peptides that are unregulated is massive. They've reached 328 million in the first 9 months of 2025 alone, and that's double the previous year. Recent restrictions. In 2023, the FDA tightened the rule by moving 17 to 19 popular peptides to Category 2, which effectively bans pharmacy from making them due to safety concerns. But as of early of 2026, there are ongoing discussions and potential reclassifications that can move some of those back into regulated status. So here we go really quick, regulated, unregulated. We have about 100 that are regulated, hundreds that are not. You have stuff that insulin, Ozempic that you might have heard of, right? And then you have these other one, BPC157, TB500, ABC, XYZ. I'm just kidding. Source regulated pharmacies with the prescription. So, that all seems like legit. But then unregulated, you have to go to online to find it. The safety data, extensive human clinical trials. And then if it's unregulated, it's mostly just animal studies or anecdotal data. And then the labeling, you need it prescribed for human therapeutic use. Unregulated, just labeled for research use only, not for human consumption. So, it gets a little, if you're going regulated, you want it to be regulated. And so if they're going to start moving more into regulated, That's good, right? That's good for anyone who's in the peptide business.
A lot of conversation about 10, 15 peptides going from class 2, category 2 to category 1 compounding so that people can actually get access to things like BPC 157, TB 500.
So there you go, right? He was explaining how things are going to start going back, and that's their plan, right? That's what they want to do. So the bottom line is to minimize danger, only use peptides that are prescribed by a licensed healthcare professional and sourced from regulated pharmacies. Avoid for research only and not for human consumption. So Hims, what are they going to be? They're going to be a regulated pharmacy, compounding pharmacy of peptides, right? So what is Hims' future for peptides, right? What's their plans? So as you know, Andrew Dudum did just say that 2027 is going to probably be the year of peptides, right?
We launched GLP-1s and everyone said, oh, now you're just a weight loss business. And a year from now, people will say, oh, you're just like a peptides business, probably, if I were to take a guess.
So in early 2025, Hims and Hers finalized the acquisition of a large-scale peptide manufacturing facility in California to verticalize its supply chain. The facility's primary purpose is to produce compounded peptide treatments for high-demand areas of personalized healthcare. Weight loss, like the GLP-1s, right? Now they're using that to compound, but they're also having Novo as well. Muscle recovery and repair, CEO. He said the facility is central to their expansion into muscle regeneration and recovery science. Longevity and rejuvenation. They're utilizing the plant for R&D on peptides that target preventive health and biological resistance. And lastly, hormone and menopause care. The acquisition supports their broader shift into hormone therapy and personalized menopause support. So by owning this facility, Hims aims to move away from the gray market and provide patients with human-grade, batch-tested peptides that are supervised by a licensed physician. You can't really get peptides in a lot of other places that are going to be all-in-one, certified, licensed, all that do amazing things for your body, right? That's amazing. So they got this facility. It says this was their press release. Acquisition will enable the company to strengthen the long-term durability to the supply chain to meet growing demand for Americans for personalized healthcare and treatment options. So again, they're really big in the personalized. The peptide capabilities made possible through the acquisition position the company in coming years to explore exciting advances in peptide innovation, including across areas of consumer needs such as preventive health, metabolic optimization, cognitive performance, recovery science, and biological resistance. So again, they're really looking towards the future.
But what I always come back to is not being first, but being best. So that from a brand standpoint, people know Hims and Hers to be high quality and trusted. Like when we actually bring something to market, it's safe, it's done right, and it could be something that's powerful and important for your health.
There you go. Right? He wants it to be safe. He wants to make sure that people feel that they're going to be safe. And I like that because that's what you want. He doesn't want to be first. He wants to just make sure everything's safe. The future of peptides in 2026 and beyond is characterized by mainstream revolution, where they're transitioning from research chemicals into primary pillar of modern medicine and personalized wellness. So regulatory normalization. Now, a major shift occurred in 2026 when the HHS announced plans to move 14 of 19 previously restricted peptides back to legal compounding status. Now, this allows licensed pharmacies to once again prepare these patients with valid prescriptions and moving the market away from the gray market. Now, scrutiny regulators are applying higher standards for documentation and informed consent to combat misinformation, which again, it's all good. If Hims is going to be one of the leaders and front runners of peptides in terms of safety and what they can offer, that's good, right? They don't need to be the first, but they want to be the best. And so I think it's all good so far. Now, here's also something else too, the next generation delivery methods, right? Right now, the biggest way to do it is through injections, right? Woo, there we go. But now it's being solved by oral transitions. Researchers are developing platform technologies to help peptides survive the gut, moving them from injections to pills. So now you can actually have a pill rather than having to inject it, which is game changer. Long-acting formulation, so emerging monthly or even quarterly dosing options are in development, reducing the burden of daily or weekly treatment. So now, instead of having to do this every day or every week, you just do it every month, maybe every 4 months, maybe every year, something like that. Brain barrier breakthrough. So peptides are being engineered to cross the blood-brain barrier, which could revolutionize treatments for neurology and brain cancer. So again, the way that peptides are being delivered and they're being produced, everything is just kind of going in the right direction, right? And then, of course, the AI-driven discovery. So AI is no longer optional. It's now a core engine of finding new peptides. Precision design. AI is being used to design peptides, creating entirely new sequences that don't exist in nature to target specific proteins in diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Now imagine, I know there's like these rare diseases that are hard to get, but something like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's is huge. And if you start creating a medicine or something, anything that helps these people tremendously, that's going to be huge. And then personalized medicine systems can now analyze an individual's genetic and immunological data to create personalized peptide cocktails tailored to the unique biology. So now AI is going to be able to say, hey, this is who you are, this is what your blood is like, this is what you need, and then we're going to be able to compound exactly what you need for your body, which that future is coming. Get ready for it. And then lastly, the expansion beyond weight loss, of course, which we kind of went over, right? You have oncology, which is going to help, alternative to traditional chemotherapy. We have antimicrobial. God, so I'm not a scientist, and it's a late night for me. It's midnight. Scientists are discovering these new peptides for the humane microbiome to fight superbugs that have become resistant to traditional antibiotics. So that's big, right? There's a lot of medicine that is now becoming resistant to the antibiotics, or there's a lot of viruses that are becoming resistant to our antibiotics and stuff. So there's now, in order to fight these superbugs, might be peptides that can, be another alternative to that. Man, so I'm off tonight. And then neurocosmetics and skincare, new category of peptides is growing rapidly. They go beyond the surface level repair and they go inside, right, to really repair the inside. And so the market, it's kind of undergoing a massive gold rush. Over the next 10 years, it's expected to more than double in value, shifting from a value market dominated by basically GLP-1, right, a lot of that, to going to non-evasive, like taking it with a pill and doing all of that. In the current market versus the 10-year outlook, right now we're looking at 80 to 140 billion, but it's projected to reach 295, basically 300 to 335 billion by 2033 to 2035. So it's going to, the market it's going to be really up there for Hims to take advantage. So now let's look at how popular peptides has been. Over the last year, if you look under Google Trends, it's clearly gone up, right? We're going from 20 all the way up. I mean, it hit 100 recently. Look at where this is, right? But that's just 1 year. Well, let's go back. Well, 5 years. Look at where peptides is. I mean, it's continued to go up over 20, mostly to 2025. Okay, the last 5 years still huge. All right, let's go to 2024 or 2004 to the present. Still, look at that. Peptides is really in right now. Now, who's to say that this doesn't drop a little bit? Of course. But if peptides really become a big thing, I mean, you're talking GLP-1, that's a peptide. And these peptides are able to produce massive, wonderful results for people. I don't understand why we wouldn't continue to have them, right? So I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching and still being here. If you are here, where is it? There it is. Please give a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And that was just my 2 cents in a way about peptides. I mean, that's kind of like the facts of peptides, but what I think it's going to do to Him's business is, if you know anything about the stock price, it's about $20 right now. It's been shot down so hard. And I think it has so much room to run. As an investor, that my cost basis is in the low 20s. I'm at almost exactly 22. I'm loving where I'm at right now. I want to buy more. And so, yeah, I do believe that Peptides is going to be huge for Hims. I believe that they're going to be surpassing their 2030 goals if Peptides, especially if the regulation goes back and they're able to do more next year. It's going to be interesting. So, yeah, we'll see. But the CEO thinks next year is all about peptides, right? And it seems like there's a huge market out there right now for it. I mean, you look at this chart I'm looking at, you just saw it, right? I mean, we'll do it one more time. Look at that. Look at that thing. I mean, right? We go that one, we go 5 years, 1 year, doesn't matter. It's popular right now. So, anyways, yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Give a like and subscribe. And remember to always be aware and prepared so then you're not scared when the market does crash or your stocks crash a little bit here and there, because it's going to happen sometimes, and you won't be scared if you're aware and prepared. So yeah, thank you for watching, and never forget to earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities, and you can count on compounded interest.